What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the CBK podcast. I'm your host, Seven, joined by my co-host, Niner. What's popping?
What's going on, dude? How are we doing today on this wonderful late October day?
It was, I think we got into the 60s today, which was nice here in Phoenix.
Fantastic.
So that was nice. How about you? How's Colorado treating us?
Good. Cole can attest. It was a nice day. Mid 60s, high 60s. Tomorrow, chance of snow. High 42.
It's Colorado. It's time.
Colorado. This time of the year, keep you on your toes. One day you can play golf. The next day you can snowboard. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool place.
Yeah. Pretty cool place.
Yep, I'm actually rocking CU today because I know we'll get into it, but Arizona is a fraudulent football team. So I've moved on to basketball for Arizona, and then I'm still supporting the Buffs.
I'm 100% bought in on basketball, by the way, and I know played my alma mater, Point Loma, last night. Sea Lions put up a fight. It was good to see, one of the powerhouses in all of Division II basketball competing at the highest level, and they did a valiant job considering the circumstances. But I am completely bought in on the Wildcats, basketball wise, like Final Four busts, and I'm going to be crushed in March. But
we texted about this a little bit. I am in the same boat. We do this every year. This roster looks awesome. This is the Certified Ball Knowers podcast that includes basketball. This is a Final Four team. No one's going to tell me otherwise.
So, for the people, I think that everyone should know that our Arizona basketball fans, that your boy put in some work a couple weekends ago with Tommy Lloyd. And I gave him a pump-up speech, maybe for the ages, some were saying. I don't want to, oversell it, but walking out of the U of A CU game in Tucson, walked right by Tommy and his buddy. And I yelled, "Tommy!" This was in the second quarter. We'll get into this, but I left. I said, "Tommy, it's officially basketball season, baby. It starts right now. Do it one time. One time, Tommy. One time." We're just laying into him. And he was laughing his ass off with his buddy, and he was just fist pumping me. So, I mean, it's been 01, right? We've talked about that. We're 7 years old. I wish I could have got more out, but I felt good about, the message I think a lot of us Wildcats fans feel and would want to say as well. So you're welcome.
And you did your part. It sounds like you did your part. And if the seemingly impossible happens and we do make a Final Four, because it feels like we're cursed or unavoidable, but if it does happen, it's because of that pump-up speech. You heard it here first.
I'm gonna wear it with a badge of honor.
Good.
As a badge of honor.
Good, as you should.
Is my internet connection still?
It's a little spotty. We'll work through it. I am gonna pose a question to you because I think the people are wondering, so I'm gonna ask you. Tell us a little bit about the background there. It looks like you changed up. Changed up your scene in the office there. What do we got?
Yeah, so 9 and I recently, and our sister 4, went through the inevitable parents move out of the childhood home and offload and start unloading things back to their children, right? This was not one of them. This was actually from 2-1 from Pops, but that was part of some of those gift packages. These are some of his old Sports Illustrated mags, and also some he bought for me, and I think he sent some to you as well. But
he did.
Wanted to frame them.
So you got Miles Simon there, Tony Gwynn on my right, and what else we got? Well, Trevor Hoffman,
Steve Garvey, and then Desert Swarm, and then in the middle is 100 years of sports or whatever.
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah. So it was cool. The one in the middle with Steve Garvey still has my dad's childhood address on it in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Go Colts. So shout out to 2-1. But it was cool, and wanted to show it off a little bit.
I like it. Yeah, Dad gave me quite a few too. They're still stacked here on my desk, but I need to get them framed. I did go on eBay, which Man, I haven't really spent a lot of time on eBay, but I'm fully bought in. So I got
Yeah.
this one, Nick Johnson, before the tournament back in what was that, 2014. So we made an Elite Eight run there. I was in school at U of A. What else? We got some cool ones here. John McEnroe. This one's kind of cool. Still's got Pops' address there from Sierra Vista, like you mentioned on this one. I think it's 84 here. I got some of the same ones you have here. This one's 88. Got a Miami football player on it, but it's got my dad's address from school there at when he was in U of A. So pretty cool. A lot of some relics there, which is enjoyable. I need to get them framed, put them somewhere cool.
Hey, this is the positive of being a trinket father who holds on to little stuff. I get a lot of heat from my wife that I hold on to worthless sentimental things. DM us, shout us out if you're similar. I think it's probably a guy thing, but yeah, we're reaping the benefits, man. And fun fact, magazines, Sports Illustrated magazines from the I think it was 80 to 81 are a half-inch taller or higher than.
No, you're good. I think we got it. You said the 80 to 81, the magazines were about a half-inch taller, longer. And
Yeah,
cool.
Kind of interesting. Yeah.
Fun fact there. Well, my the problem I'm having is because I went on eBay and I got a couple ones that 2-1 didn't give to us. So I got the Desert Swarm one that you have hung up. I got the Cool Cats one, the Miles Simon one. But I'm now, whenever I log into eBay on my phone, it's all curated to like stuff I would like, and it's stuff I absolutely do not need. But man, I am tempted to buy. There's a Randy Jones signed magazine from '78 or whenever he won the Cy Young. It's like $40, and I'm like, do I buy that?
Yeah, and you did.
Do I buy that? I
Yeah.
didn't actually. I didn't. I have a Randy Jones signed baseball because, fun fact, Seven, don't know if you remember this.
I do.
Little League, we were the Braves. We played the Dodgers in a section championship kind of thing, or a league championship for Rancho Penasquitos there in San Diego. And Randy Jones came out to that championship game. He threw out the first pitch to our Little League game. I started that game at pitcher, whatever, 11, 12 years old. He talked to me for like 10 minutes before the game, gave me some tips, signed a ball for me. It was really cool. And I think I ended up throwing 5 complete, went 2 for 3, double. The only reason I know that is I have a clip out from the newspaper here, and it has all my stats. I made the paper.
So was that the Trib? Was that the Union Trib, or was that the local PQ?
No, that was the local PQ that probably went out of business shortly thereafter. So it's probably one of the last living copies of that that newspaper. But I have a copy of it, and we are in there. I was the focus of the article, obviously, because of the stellar performance that I had, not only on the mound but at the plate. And
if that magazine company or if that newspaper is still around, we'd love to advertise in our hometown local newspaper.
That's right. Hey,
I don't even remember the name of it though.
That's right. Hey, do we want to go off the cuff here and shout out some North County, San Diego kids doing some cool things in the sports world right now?
Let's do it. I love
it. The one that comes to my mind is the kids having a heck of a year down there in Nala. Rahid Shahid? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Mount Carmel alum. Man, has a great year. Speed threat down there for Derek Carr. He's doing great things. And
Chris Olave, also on the Saints.
Yep, North County.
Warner. He might be the first. He has a chance to be the first. Or yeah, Fred Warner has the chance to be the first non-D end to win Defensive Player of the Year, and probably, I think it's been done once in the last 15 years with Kuechly. That was a stat on Sunday night or Monday Night Football last night. But
fun fact
about Rashid Shaheed from Mount Carmel. So his senior year, I was varsity linebacker coach at Westview, which is the other high school in Rancho Penasquitos that Tyler 9 and I went to. where the legend of 9 and 7 come from, obviously.
Of course. Actually.
So I'm coaching linebackers. Shouldn't have been coaching linebackers at 19 varsity, by the way. That was not good. That's a story for another day. But Rashid wasn't even the guy we prepared for. Like, he was like, oh yeah, he's pretty good. It was Lucas Johnson, the kid who ended up going to Georgia Tech. And
QB, yep.
Like, I don't even remember Rashid very much versus Lucas. But Lucas is also quarterback. But yeah, Shaheed then goes to what? Weber State, and then making a name for himself in the league. Real cool story, but just funny that was, and that's why we lost and why we won 2 games that year, by the way. So not great coaching. He did dominate us, I believe. So
it happens. You can't be perfect.
Yeah.
And especially with the talent gap, maybe it sounds like between Westview High School versus Mount Carmel wasn't great. Another North County, San Diego kid that has to be shouted out. Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, La Costa Canyon alum from Encinitas. Dude is 39 years old. The Vikings have no business being as good as they are with Sam Darnold at quarterback. He's made Sam Darnold look like he belongs as starting quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. They're at or top the division in the NFC North. And he's the hottest. I think he's the hottest head coach in football, considering second year. He's 39. So yeah, put it on the map for North County, San Diego.
Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. I think Agnew's still bouncing around the USD, or he went to Point Loma, I think, and then went to USD punt returner. Who else? Quisenberry.
David, the older one from Acosta. Yep, still bouncing around.
Yeah. Brunskill, kid who went to what? Oh, where did he go? He went to SDSU. I think he's still in the league.
The offensive line.
Valley Center, yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact about him.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about him.
I think I played with him in the Spanos game, and SDSU coaches pulled him out after like one day of practice, and he didn't end up playing. And he never showed up. He was there like one day. And they're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're a 4-star recruit.
That's a great story. That makes sense. Brunskill also has got he's gone a little viral on social media because his fiance is way out of his league. Hey,
good for him.
If you want proof, I can bring this up right now. For the
people. I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, the people need to know this. Shout out to big boys. Big boys got to eat too. And this dude is doing it for all the big boys out there. She looks like she's got a great personality, and he probably has an even better personality because there's no way you land that if you're not a funny guy. So shout out to North County for many reasons.
Terrell Burgess, yeah, many reasons. Shout out, smokes. Terrell Burgess, safety, San Marcos. I think I coached against him too.
You can't forget the little white boy Phillips that played at UCLA. He's still on the Titans, right?
Yeah,
San Marcos as well.
Shout out Dago. Shout out San Diego.
Dago doesn't get the love it deserves on the football map, man. It really does.
I agree. No,
it really doesn't.
The only city with 4 Heisman winners. I already named that stat once, but that's a real stat, fellas. That's a real
and ladies
for those who are listening. That's a CBK stat though, for the boys and ladies. But yeah, I mean, to put a bow on the magazines, we got sidetracked there, but I'm slowly turning into my father. I also now have a full running, operating eBay account, and am now getting into like collecting things like he does with baseball cards. But I think it's going to be Sports Illustrated now. I'm just going to have.
Well, especially, is Sports Illustrated out of business now?
If they're not, they're pretty damn close. fun fact, or another. We got into a conversation a couple weeks ago with 2, 1, and 10 with mom and dad, which was kind of funny. Do you think Playboy's still around?
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah. Did you know it's a publicly traded stock?
Did not know that. That's fascinating.
Dude, I was like, no way. And so the market cap is like the street value, market value of a company. It's the number of shares times the price outstanding, is like 40 million. Like there's like taco stands worth more than that.
They're a penny stock. They're trading at 84 cents right now.
Yeah, but publicly traded. Think it's on the NASDAQ, right? Is that the exchange?
Yep. PLBY.
Dude,
they
so
are
funny.
the last 5 years they are down 91.59%. But in the last month they're up 10%, 8 cents a share. So they could be climbing back up, and with the publicity they're about to get from this shout out, I think we're about to see a lot more capital dumped into to Playboy Group Inc.
And we would usually say yes to a potential sponsorship opportunity, but we already have a pretty notable sponsor in that space already that we can't name. We're in talks with. So it's a similar industry. So we just want to be respectful of that, up and coming partnership.
Yeah. And if anyone out there is hiring, I just looked up Playboy stock on my work computer. So reach out to your boy here pretty soon if that gets me on a list at work. I kind of did that without thinking, and
dude, you're definitely getting a call this week.
I'm 100% on a list. I'm in the market for a new laptop. I need to buy one, but for now, I'm just playing with fire with looking up stuff like that. So,
that's fantastic. That is fantastic.
Hey, Seven, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Arizona football or no?
Not really. It's just depressing.
Okay.
Not great. How do you feel?
I don't really want to talk about it, but I feel like do you think we should?
I've never seen a more incompetent coaching staff at the college since Sumlin, I guess. Like we have two of the worst ones in the last 20 years in any program, but it's so bad. Like so bad. I mean,
the most frustrating part to me, and I'm cutting you off, is the press conferences continue to be the same thing. Like Brent Brennan's a robot. Like there's no human element of like, hey man, I'm obviously not doing something right. This staff isn't doing something right. We need to fire somebody. We need to simplify everything. He says the same thing every single week. I just got to coach better. I still think this group is really good. They can be good. Then why have you lost 4 or 5 in a row?
This is 100% on me.
Yeah. Like we're well aware of that.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Because obviously Matt Atkins is really not calling the plays, or he's been slowly spending more time around.
Or he was never good and Utah's really, really bad, which
it's looking more and more like that. Yeah. It's so bad, dude. And like towards the end of the game, we started to do some things. We played a little backyard football against probably a bottom 3. Well, if we're bottom 2, so they're a bottom 4 team. We just said go play run around Noah ball and throw it up to T. It's like
it worked.
My thing is like, why not do that every play? That's what I was trying to tell 2-1 a couple weeks ago. I'm like, you can throw it to T-Mac. If that is your best chance to win a game, throwing it to him every play, then do it. The point of the game is to win. If he's the only one, then just do it. Like, stop.
Well, especially when you refuse to use some of the talent that you have. Keenan Burnett's fallen off the radar. It's like, hold on. This kid's really good. He's going to transfer, and he should. And that's where I'm at with this. Like, I'm so mad at Brent Brennan, and I'm so mad at the staff. I feel bad for these kids, and I feel a Keenan Burnett should definitely transfer. Noah should transfer, and then any of the safeties that are going to be able to have eligibility to come back, Stukes, Maldonado, they should go play at a big school, finish out, and see if that they can make some. They should not come back and play under a Brent Brennan coach team. It's a waste of their time.
Agreed.
And I can't believe we're here. October 29th. I cannot believe that this is where we're at. 3 or 4 months ago, it was like, I really believe this could be special. And that's why I don't really want to talk about it.
There's still 3 guys that are probably going to be drafted in the first round, if not first 2 rounds. I still think that, and this I feel bad too, Takario and Jonah are probably hurting their draft stock, but I
100%.
still, talent-wise, pro day-wise, they're going to, they're freaks at both, physically. So the fact that we have 3, there was one guy on Twitter, former player, Vic Yates, love the energy, love the positivity. But dude, your excuse after the game was, I know this because I played, and coaching changes take time. Coaching changes don't take time when you have a freshman All-American quarterback, 3 of your starting offensive linemen, the best wide receiver in America, All-American middle linebacker, Butkus Award nominee, 3 starting safeties. Okay, a whole new deal. You should win. I think the floor for me coming into the year was 8 games. There's a lot of talent. I know it's not deep, but at every level of coaching, from the scheme all the way down to obviously nutrition and exercise, because all these motherfuckers are hurt.
That's a great point
too. All of them are hurt. The whole team. We didn't have one injury last year. Luck, sure, part of it. But at some point, that law of diminishing returns, it's no longer luck. It's on something in the program. And I don't even know if that's the right law of diminishing returns. I just said it. It felt good off the tongue, but don't quote me on that.
Keep going.
I just don't get it, dude. It's bad everywhere. There's not one good thing.
Here's the crazy part. If you took a piece of paper and it was a multiple choice 1 to 10, and there was a wrong button and a right button, and you had it here, and you had 10 wrong and right buttons, and you just blindly press those buttons, blindly press them. How do you press all 10 wrong buttons? Because that's what Brent Brennan did. The coaching staff, wrong. The strength and conditioning staff, wrong. Every transfer that he brought in, wrong. Every way he's tried to engage the community, wrong. Every play call, wrong. Every scheme, play calling scheme to go into a game plan, wrong. It's all wrong. There's not one thing that they're actually doing right. At least we run the ball really well. Or at least we really, we're losing. When Jed, we've talked about it. First year, we had a horrible roster. We were almost in every game. We should have beat Oregon in Oregon with Mario Cristobal there. It's because Jed had a great game plan. He at least knew what he was doing with terrible talent. How the hell is Brent Brennan this bad at his job? And it's just one last Dave Hickey, kiss of death before on his way out was hiring Brent Brennan. And we're stuck with it now. And I don't see how anything's going to change over the next 24 months, 36 months.
Yeah, maybe longer.
Yeah, it's terrible.
This is worse than Sumlin because of the talent. That roster under 100%. Sumlin was brutal. All those guys transferred to fucking incarnate world with nothing against a deep whatever, but Power 5 at that time to incarnate world or whatever
incarnate
that incarnate. I don't know, whatever. That talent was horrible. We have 3 those. We're gonna look back on Maldonado, Stukes, and Johnson and be damn, dude, they were fucking good football players.
Mm-hmm. They were.
Name one good football player on Sumlin's team outside of how many can you name that you're he
recruited?
Yes. Well, no, it doesn't matter because that doesn't. We're apples to apples against. He didn't recruit these guys.
Colin Schooler was pretty good.
Yeah.
Tony Fields.
Yeah.
Pretty good. He had a sip of coffee in the league.
Yeah.
Who's the kid he's in the league now? Lopez, D lineman, transferred in.
Yeah.
But we're scratching here. We have, to your point, we have a returning freshman All-American with a top 5, top 10 pick at wideout. 3 seniors. Well, sorry, 3 upperclassmen on the offensive line, and the offense. Put aside the defense. Defense ravaged by injuries, which I think is a total strength and conditioning problem. The offense has no idea what they're doing. There are countless high school offensive coordinators that could go, put them there in April, go through spring ball or whatever, and we would be going to a bowl with those offensive coordinators from a high school level, 100%.
Yeah, it's absurd, man.
It's a JUCO program. This is a JUCO program. Brent Brennan runs like a JUCO program.
He still does nothing. At the end of the game, when we were like making a run back or come back a little bit or trying to make a push, all he said, and this was the most fired up I've seen him, but all he said is right fucking now. And then guess what he did? It was during a timeout, and he said, let's right fucking now. And then they huddled up to discuss the play during a timeout. And guess what? He's standing on the side. Like, even if you're in the CEO model of head coaching, you're still in the middle. That's what the CEO does. You got different departments. Okay, I'm going to tell you based on what your initial thoughts are. Yes, no, not do this.
I'm in that meeting.
He ain't in the meeting. He's not in the meeting. He's outside the glass doors. And everyone's wondering why the CEO's not in the meeting.
It's wild.
Oh, yeah. So fun story to transition. Just to put a bow on. You mentioned Dave Hickey. Did I ever tell you when I scared the shit out of him?
Yeah, and then I have a Dave Hickey story for you. You go first.
I was at a House of Blues concert in Houston, Texas, before the Final Four. I worked for a company that was a big sponsor of the NCAA, so I was able to go to this corporate sponsor Zach Brown band concert. Probably the most electric concert I've ever been to. Probably 250 people in the House of Blues with Zach Brown playing for like an hour and a half. I was standing 10 feet from Charles Barkley, Wally Zerbiak. There's ADs and presidents walking everywhere. Well, look who comes walking right across me. Your boys, it's an open bar. They're on work. Only corporate. It was awesome. Dave Hickey walks right in front of me. And I go, bear down, Dave. And he at a loud concert, they're playing fucking 7 instruments, and I happen to scare him in the middle of a song. And he just looks at me and goes, oh, okay. And he keeps walking. I'm like, that's when I knew. Fraud. 1, scared him at a fucking concert. 2, you say okay to bear down. And then he left us with this pile. Just couldn't be worse.
Good segue to my Dave Hickey story. Rewind back to December of 23, so 10 months ago. 2-1, myself and you all went to the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio, Texas, because we're loyal fans, and when you have a good team, we're going to go spend money, and we're going to go support the team.
I bought season tickets this year. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Before the game, we went to the pep rally or something that the U of A put on. It was like food buffet, whatever, pay $50 and you get the buffet, whatever. Don't even know what it was. I think you were still traveling in, so you didn't go. But 2-1 and I went, and then a couple of our other friends that were in town for the game, we all went to this. It was cool. They did pep rally, food, whatever. Towards the end, Kiki and then Robin spoke, right? Both out now, but they spoke. They were still in their current positions. They both spoke. And as they were leaving, 2-1 stops Hiki and says something encouraging, like, hey, let's go win this game, something like that. And then I'll never forget it. 2-1 says to Hiki, let's lock down Jed. Make sure he doesn't go anywhere. And instead of giving...
Dad said that to Hiki? I didn't.
Yeah. And instead of Hiki saying something along the lines of, I make $1 million a year, I'm going to get this done. Like, having confidence, like he's an actual businessman.
He would never say that exactly, but he would be
like, sorry. Instead of saying, we're going to get it done, don't worry about it, we're going to lock him in, with the moxie he should have, making $1 million a year, being a Power 4 AD.
Gotcha.
That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
He says, well, you said, well, we're trying. If you're in a leadership position and you run an athletic department And if random fan comes up to you saying something that you obviously know you're trying to do, you lie. You're confident. You're saying we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. We've won 10 games 3 other times in our program history. The guy that just did it's not going anywhere. We're going to make it happen.
Let's keep this shit rolling.
Instead, he puckers. He goes into mid-major Dave mode and says, yeah, we're going to try. We're trying. I wish you could have seen his face, Evan. It showed zero confidence. Like at that moment, I should have known. I shouldn't have even gone to the game. I should have just known this was the last good moment we were going to have. Looking back in that moment, because Dave Hickey was like, yeah, there's no way. I have no idea what I'm doing. He had no idea what he's doing.
No, I know that face.
I'll never forget that.
I scared him by yelling what every Arizona fan probably says to him for the last 6 years, and he was still freaked out, and he didn't even say it back. Yeah, thanks, Jed. Or not,
absolute joke
Jed too, and thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Absolute joke.
Do you believe in? I know we need to move on from. We said we weren't going to talk about Arizona. We're at 15 minutes of this topic. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to say our
Desiree Francois.
You believe in her? You think she's no bullshit? She's no nonsense? Or are we going to be stuck with this? Like his buyout, I read something with Sheer. It's not actually 10 million. It's a little bit more complex than that. But it's still 8 to 10. Like it's so.
So the jury's still out, in my opinion. I think that she's been here 10 months. She inherited a terrible situation. The context matters for her as a businesswoman, really. She's running a whole department. The financials, terrible spot. She had nothing to do with that contract. She had nothing to do with that hire, but it's now on her. The jury's still out, so I don't know. I hope that she does, and I think we've talked about this before. If I was her, I would be having serious conversations with Brent about renegotiating the contract. This is a business. I know he can say all he wants and stand by that contract. Sure, that's great. But just know the clock's ticking. But I would try to renegotiate that contract and say, Brent, you love this program. Your wife's an alum. You came here and you haven't been living up to standards. You're not recruiting at a high level. We have no faith in you to deliver a good program. You either let's talk about this. We'll pay you out the $10 million over the next 20 years. And then fire. You can do that. You can negotiate that. And I hope she does that. I just don't know if she will.
Oh, man. I hope so. On our, I tweeted a poll asking how much people would donate. On the high end, which I think of the different ranges I had listed on X, I'm going to believe everyone was saying they would donate the high end of their dollars specifically toward Brent's buyout. We raised $100,000. So I don't know. That was 30 people. 30 folks. We got a lot of fans out there.
That's presumably not it's 30 people who voted. It's presumably also not any of the big time donors. I think you can raise that money. But back to what I said, I think you have to have a conversation around renegotiating it. Like, hey Brent, like we'll renegotiate it so you get paid the next 20 years. Instead of getting 20 or 10 million now, you'll get 15 million over the next 20 years. You should take that ROI 5%, or 50%.
I'm confused. You renegotiate that. You renegotiate the firing phase and fire him, or you renegotiate it to bring him back?
You renegotiate the buyout. So instead of getting the 10 million now, presumably we don't have the 10 million now. Say we'll pay you that 10 million over the next 20 years because we'll have it over the next 20 years, but we're firing you right now. And then he still gets the money.
What if he says no?
If he says no, then you say, okay, then you look at him dead in the eye and say, my entire job as AD right now is to find money to get you fired.
Yeah, I guess your point is also thinking that he's not petty enough to make her do that.
No, he's not. Well, and that's why you speak to what he said and you believe him as face value. I do think he's a good guy. I do think he loves this program. I do think he loves this university. I would love to have a beer with him. I think that you play into that. And you say, hey, Brent, if all this is true, then you're going to take this deal. And you're not going to go out without a fight because you're completely embarrassing yourself. You're never going to be a coach again in college football. Definitely not a head coach. And you allude to all of that, say, just move on, wasn't the right situation, and we start over. And then we don't have to pay a lump sum now. And we're able to actually have some capital to go get an up-and-coming coach that can maybe salvage what's left of this roster, or at least start over, but have some good scheme and have a sense of how to build a program. Because that's the thing. Brent's not even – like, it's one thing if we were sucking, but he's, like, recruiting well. He's doing the right things in the community. He's building a program. He's doing nothing correct. Nothing.
Yeah, it was what Shear's wife, forget her name, said, like, oh, I'm sure they were at the frat house delivering pizzas before the night before the game. Like, Jed was a master at that. That's what I don't understand is, like, he had people in the building that had the blueprint of what works. Like, most people don't have that luxury. Like, you look at, like, I know it was James Madison, but, like, a lot of these guys, like, even there weren't that many Washington guys that didn't graduate or go pro. Like, the fact that most of these guys stayed rather than following their coach. Like, James Madison, half their team at Indiana is from James Madison. All that to say, like, you had people there that knew what worked and the little things. And in any job where it's, like, performance-based, and I might be a little bit, like, narrow lens through my career in sales, but, like, performance-based, like, the little things add up over a long period of time and make the program. Like, those little things, like delivering pizzas to the frats and telling them come out tomorrow, builds it. It's all about a building block. It's one brick at a time. Like, that's how you build a program. That shit matters.
If you're going to be a CEO coach, you have to be looking at the community, the culture, and if you're fully going to trust your offense and defense coordinators, which is clearly a mistake, what we're seeing on the field, you should at least be investing all your time into the university, getting on Greek Row, meeting donors up in the foothills, putting on dinners. Like, you're a salesman. And that's what Jed, but to your point, Jed set out a blueprint that, I don't know, I'm thinking of one name, Brandon Sanders. You were in the building the moment Jed was there, and you're here now.
And that's his role. Like, yeah.
Right. Alumni engagement, whatever the hell that means. He's getting paid six figures, presumably, to go do that. Is he not in his year? Like, hey, man, I know the community hates this guy who just left. We don't have to ever mention his name again, but everything that he was doing was working really, really well. Keep doing it.
Yeah, and even, dude, you nailed it. He's done nothing right. And
nothing.
I even read something before the CU game from the CU game from Shear that he was 45 minutes before kickoff, he was talking to donors. So even when he does do what he's supposed to do, he's doing it wrong. Like, that is ludicrous at every football. Like, Pop Warner, if you're talking to your wife on the phone as the head coach before the game, 45 minutes before the game, like, that's crazy. Like, there's a lot to do. Like, what are you doing?
You clearly have nothing to do with the game plan. Nothing at all. If you can go 45 minutes before a game and you can go talk to boosters outside the stadium, you have nothing to do with the game plan. It's insanity.
Right. To answer your original question, no, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it either.
Yeah, I'm glad we can just brush it off and move on and not talk about it very much. What are you looking forward to this upcoming, or what did you like? Other games you want to talk about? Do we even have time for that?
We got a couple minutes. I like watching BYU. I think they're fun. I know they played a UCF team. They're a fun squad. The Nebraska-Ohio State game was fun. Nebraska one of those teams that you don't know what you get every week, or is Ohio State not that good?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe a little bit of both. We're going to find out this week against Ohio State going to Happy Valley. So that'll be fun. I didn't watch a whole lot of ball on Saturday. I went to a Halloween party, which was awesome. I dressed up as a cowboy. Nice. Yeehaw. My little 6 months tomorrow. Brokeback, always.
Nice. Yes. Hell yeah.
My boy was also cowboy. And then my wife's going to hate that I'm going to say this on the podcast, but I'm going to do it anyway. She wanted to be a cow. So she created she had a cow costume. The reason she wanted to be a cow is because she's got the milk. Pretty clever.
That works. I respect
pretty
that.
well. She's breastfeeding. You know my wife, 7. A little outside.
Wouldn't expect that. Yeah.
Thank you. Agreed.
Wouldn't expect that. Shout out 1-5.
Yeah, so pretty clever. And then at this party, my our friends, Sam and Lauren, they put on a party. Probably 100+ people go to this Halloween party every year. Like, reminds you like you're back in college. But the fun part is like there's kids there for the first couple hours, and then all those people leave, and then they do a silent disco in their garage. They rent equipment. They have decorations throughout the whole house. They do it really well. But where I'm going with this was the food they got. They ordered a bunch of Papa John's, and I had one slice, and it hit. It absolutely hit. So tonight, I was like, I got to get more Papa John's.
You've been thinking about it for that.
I've been thinking about it since Sunday. I ordered Papa John's tonight. Way too expensive, and I am regretting it. I had to have coffee for this podcast.
Tell me the order.
I went pepperoni and green pepper pizza. Usually a great combo. Let's bring on Cole, who's the resident pizza knower here. Cole. Judge my coffee or my pizza. Is that a good move or not?
So here's the thing: as a Dave Portnoy disciple, you know, when you score pizza, it's
move him
cheese.
Off. Sorry, guys, I'll get him off.
No, it's fine. Pepperoni's the best. The green pepper. I mean, it's all right.
So here's what happened with the green pepper. They obviously cooked the pepperoni pizza, forgot the green pepper, and then there was just green pepper on top. Yeah, it was so bad.
Does Papa John's still come with that little garlic sauce?
Yeah, they forgot it.
Oh, bro,
that's crazy.
I need to submit a complaint.
I'm writing a letter, by the way.
Yeah, I'm definitely sending.
If that was me, I'm reviewing. I'm calling, getting a free pizza out of that because the garlic sauce 100%. Is the only thing that makes Papa John's.
It's the only reason why you get it. I had a slice on Saturday. It was good, but I didn't get the garlic. So I was like, man, this is good. I know what this garlic sauce is all about. And I wanted it tonight, and I didn't get it. Dude, absurd order. I felt terrible. I had a headache immediately after. We need RFK in here to clean up our food. Something was in that.
Wait, so you got the pizza? What else?
Oh, I didn't want to mention what else. Since you asked, I got cheese sticks. Those are pretty good. It's hard to mess those up. And then I got their like Oreo cookie thing because I needed $3 more for free shipping. So I just added that on, and that was actually pretty good. It was like the dipping like icing sauce that you just did. Oh, that was pretty good. That was actually the highlight of the.
You're too old to eat like that, bro.
So I didn't put the weight on your stats.
I'll do that. I'll do that same shit, but like tomorrow's gonna suck.
I have a basketball game tomorrow.
Yo, how much did that run you? How much was that?
Probably
like $46.
Yep. That's about right. Not surprised.
Oh my god.
It was a regretted. You come home from work, you're like hanging out, you're like, dude, we're gonna get some pizza. Dave, don't cook. We're not cooking.
Grubbing. Yeah.
We're grubbing, and then you have that and like headache. I hate the World Series matchup I was forcing myself to watch. I feel terrible. I couldn't stop eating it because it was kind of good, but then like the pizza was trash. I was eating everything else, which was just carbs and sugar. So yeah, I feel pretty terrible. Right now, I don't feel good.
It's a trap.
So that's what happened.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for your feedback, even though I didn't appreciate it. So that was. What about you on the weekend? Any games you liked this past weekend?
I thought Friday kicked it off well with the Boise State UNLV game. I watched bits and pieces. I was kind of coming in and out of that game, but electric way to start the weekend. Good game. We talked Ohio State, Nebraska. That was fun. I thought Navy would keep it kind of close with Notre Dame, and so I bet on Navy, and I lost money on Navy. The Ole Miss Oklahoma game was weird because Oklahoma's not very good. And not to go too much into the weekend preview, but OU is jumping fucking head first into the SEC. Week 10 of college football, 9, whatever it is. And do you know who they're playing?
Maine.
It's the most SEC thing of all time to play a mid-conference FCS team. That is mind-boggling to me. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in that game for Oklahoma versus Ole Miss last week, that was pretty close. I'm finally glad Ole Miss is out of the college football playoff picture. They're not good. Yeah. They won some close games, lost some close games against LSU, Kentucky. I'm looking now, but they're not good. Why are we trying to force 12 teams from the SEC in the playoff? Ole Miss is not a great football team. Jackson Dart is highly overrated. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather
Georgia's going to beat Ole Miss by 50 next week.
I'd rather watch Ohio State, Georgia than Ole Miss, Georgia.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple other things. Missouri's garbage. Oregon, wagon. Vandy, good football team. That was a good game, actually.
Good.
Just
They're
well
really
coached.
Yeah.
Really well coached. That A&M LSU game, I was watching that game, dude, and my eyes hurt. Not from the jerseys or anything, just I feel like I've seen that game so many times, and it's always built up to be this legendary matchup. And it's always the same game, kind of entertaining. Both teams are going to lose 3 to 5 games, and we're going to be at the place where people think that they're an upper tier SEC team that just was really close. Other than the 19 LSU team, that team was different, special. They were NIL transfer portal before you didn't have to sit out a year with Burrow. That was just different.
Alabama's had some of those teams in the teen years, right? We're not disrespecting some of these teams from the SEC. But
I hate this game. And you're telling me LSU is 8th in the country? Get the fuck out of here. They lost to USC. USC's garbage. USC ain't good. You lost.
I'm looking at LSU's schedule right now, and I know my in-laws listening. They're big LSU fans, so they're going to hate this part. So I apologize, John and Barry. If you look at LSU's schedule, though, who have they beaten that's good? Their best win is against Ole Miss. Is Ole Miss very good? We just established they're a pretty average, above average team, but they are not a college football playoff team. Yeah. They beat Arkansas, trash. UCLA, trash. Nichols, okay. This is LSU's win. Nichols,
they struggled with Nicholls State, by the way. I watched that game at first no.
They beat Nichols. They beat Nichols. They beat South Carolina by 3. They beat UCLA at home by 17. That game was close the whole game. Close. UCLA, garbage. They beat South Alabama. They beat Ole Miss. They beat Arkansas. Yeah. Arizona's schedule is harder than this.
Yeah. 100%.
Let's say it how it is.
Yeah. 100%.
And then the rest of their schedule. Sorry, go ahead.
They're not a good football team.
They play Alabama this week or next week. They got to bye. Then they play Alabama. Alabama's going to win by 3 touchdowns. They play Florida. They play Vanderbilt. They play Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
yeah. No, don't be sorry. Apologize to no one.
It's hard speaking the truth because you upset people, but
yeah. Well, what are you looking forward to this weekend? What games? What do we like?
I like not having to really watch Arizona. They're on FS1, which is crazy that we're still getting nationally televised games. I'm used to us being sucky and just being stuck on the Pac-12 network. I'll probably still kill myself and watch that game. I think we're going to lose. We're finally underdogs, by the way. We've been like a favorite in like the last 4 games. It's crazy. So we're finally
I still
underdogs.
think 6.5 is insane, by the way. But just
you think they beat us by like 14, right?
Yeah, even with a backup quarterback and a new DC.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Isn't this their first week of a new DC?
UCF? I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. Okay, this weekend, I'm obviously excited about Ohio State, Penn State, top 5 matchup. Got to be excited about that. Yep. I don't know who to root for because I'm not very. I think I might root for Ohio State.
I'm rooting for Ohio State.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page there.
I'd rather a Big Ten team win the championship than the SEC. That's what we get down to. And Ohio State is the only team before last year's Michigan team that has shown the ability out of the Big Ten to compete with the SEC. So I'm okay with that.
I agree.
I hope it's Oregon.
Me too. I'm excited for Air Force and Army. Just always a classic game when those teams.
Did you see the line?
22.5. I'm taking it Air Force, right?
Are you sure it's 22?
22.5 Army.
Bro, I could have swore I saw a different number on FanDuel. No free ads. No free money.
Hey, hit us up if you want to partner though. We get
we'd love to. We're looking for a book. We got one deal outstanding. We think we're worth more. What game was I looking at? Oh, Air Force. Sorry. Fuck. This is bad.
Bad podcasting.
Okay. I saw the over-under. My bad. Still a wild number for an over-under. 41?
That is for a college football game? Yeah, that's pretty low.
I think Army might beat Air Force by 41. Air Force is atrocious.
Yeah, but that's a lot of points. Army's pretty good, though. I need to watch Army. And I'm excited to watch Army this weekend because I want to watch them against Notre Dame in a couple of weeks really bad. So I kind of want to study up a little bit, see what we're dealing with. I was hoping, to your point, Navy could battle with Notre Dame a little bit. They obviously didn't. So I'm hoping one of these one of the service schools can hang. Then the last one I'm kind of excited for, couple. I want to see Indiana go on the road against Michigan State. Michigan State hang with Michigan. Michigan's not very good. Michigan State, they're kind of on the up, right? New coach, Jonathan Smith, freshman quarterback. I just want to see Indiana do it again. Like I think they might win by 3 touchdowns again. And I'm excited to kind of like see that happen on the road in the big. Kignetti is I got a little man crush on the guy.
He covers.
He covers. And then the last one I'm interested in that I feel like the line, I don't know. Texas Tech at Ohio State, at Iowa State, excuse me. Iowa State, obviously a good team, 11th in the country. Texas Tech isn't bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. I think it'll be a little bit higher scoring. Should be a fun game. So those are a couple that stuck out to me. What about you?
I like that. Indiana, Michigan State. I also have a man crush. Indiana might be my team this year that I'm just like going all in. Also, 9 and I were born in Indianapolis, lived there 6 months, then moved to Southern California. I've never been back to Indy, even though I went to school in Chicago for a year.
I drove through it once for 15 minutes.
There you go. So, but we are Hoosiers, like by birthplace, which,
That's why I put up 8 3-pointers 2 weeks ago in my men's league game. It's in my blood.
Shoot or shoot, baby.
Doesn't matter.
Shoot or shoot. I think it's interesting. Boise State has 2 Friday games back to back. I don't know why I think that's interesting. That's rare. I feel like maybe that is nothing. Georgia's going to beat Florida by 140. I also think Kentucky. I don't know Kentucky's injury report very well. They're 3-5, not great. They've had some bad losses, but Tennessee is a weird team right now for how much power, like firepower they have. They seem to be struggling. It's weird. I don't know if it's a QB thing, but they got dudes. So I don't know. That game, 16.5, like Tennessee hasn't scored much this year. SMU Pitt, though, dude, I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Both
was that for my service?
No. I was looking at something else that I'll rant about in a sec.
Oh, okay.
I think the Pitt and SMU are two of the most disrespected teams in the country. Do you agree?
Yeah. SMU's good, and so is Pitt. Different ball clubs, so it'll be interesting to see how those like ACC forces collide. It's just weird. I know it's year 2, but no, it's a fun weekend, man. Not horrible. I'm going to Texas tomorrow to visit my my in-laws, and we're doing Halloween with the cousins, which will be pretty fun. We're not doing Christmas. We're staying here. They're staying in Texas, so we're gonna go Halloween. Not
That's
a big football family, but I am flying back Saturday because I have some stuff work-wise Monday, so they're going to stay a little bit longer. We've owned this house 2.5 years. I will have the house to myself for an entire day for the first time, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be pretty enjoyable. Love my kids, but 4 and 2, one day to myself. Pretty stoked.
That's Christmas. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll get home around 11. Maybe I'll order some Thai food or Papa John's, whatever,
Don't take my recommendation. Thai, actually, I will recommend. Do not get Papa John's. Thai food, you should get Thai food.
I'm getting wings. I'm gonna get like a family size of wings Saturday as soon as I get home.
I want you to eat like 50 wings, and then I want you to not put on underwear for 24 hours.
Okay.
Right? Like that feels like a good weekend to yourself.
How the wings I can eat. Wait, say that again.
I said that feels like a good weekend to yourself, like free balling the whole weekend.
Yeah, but how long do I have to? Yeah, no, I agree. How long do I have to eat the wings?
Lunch and dinner on whatever day you just said you have to yourself.
So I'm going to get home around, let's say 11:30
p.m.
So no a.m. Saturday.
Okay.
So how much time do I have? 50 wings. That's a good amount of wings. Through like before I go to bed that night, or like do I have 20? Okay. All right. Yeah. I just need to know what the parameters are because I'm going to execute as well. Yeah.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What are your 3 locks of the week though, 9 for this upcoming week?
So free money plays of the week. It is free money. I don't miss. It's not free money though. Don't sue me. Here's what I like. All right. Here's what I like. I like Penn State 3.5 at home against Ohio State.
Wow. Really?
I do. Wow. You can't tell me it's not going to be rocking there. That game is going to be an absolute zoo. And I am excited to watch that game. And I think I feel like Penn State. I was talking to a coworker of mine who's Penn State alum. I believe the last time they beat Ohio State was 2015. I believe. Someone can fact check me, but I think that's true. 9 years. I think this team for Penn State's a little different.
Why?
I think this team's a little different. Their defense is nasty. I think their quarterback is finally competent. And I don't really believe in Ohio State, though. That's part of this equation as well. The problem is Will Howard is pretty average. Like, they spent all this money on this roster, and they got, like, an above-average quarterback. Like, he's pretty good, but, like, he's not. I don't believe he's a top 10 quarterback in the country. I think you can find 10 quarterbacks that would start over him at Ohio State. I really do.
All right.
So that's my first bet. Do you want me to go all 3, or do you want to
go all 3? Go all 3.
Okay. My second one is Texas Tech plus 13.5 at Iowa State. I don't think Texas Tech is that bad. I think they're going to slow it down a little bit, run the ball with the Brooks kid. I also think Iowa State is kind of due for a little bit of a letdown. They're undefeated, top 15 in the country. I think this is a little bit of a not a trap game per se, but I think Texas Tech covers. So give me 13.5 for Texas Tech. And then my last one, we didn't mention this game, but it is a game I'm looking forward to because there's just, I don't know if ironic's the right word, but just I like these old Pac-12 schools now in the Big Ten playing against each other because it's like it feels different, but it's also the same. So give me Washington money line at home against USC. So those are my 3 locks. Free money.
Free money. I love it. How'd you do 2 weeks ago? We did take a break last week. What was your record? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh man, I don't know. Let me check.
I was 2-4. I can't remember the 3 games I ended up picking, but I did have 3 written down. I can't remember if I included Bama -3. That was the last one. That one would have. That's another loss. But I did have Illinois +3 against Michigan and KU -5 against Houston. And then I also lost Rutgers -4 against UCLA, which that game still doesn't make sense to me because UCLA's garbage and they beat Rutgers, who beat Washington. Football is weird. But I'll go with my lock. So I have the opposite. I'm on, or not the opposite. You didn't take this one, but you did like Michigan State. I like Indiana -7.5.
No, I didn't like Michigan State. We got them frozen again, folks, but I would like to set the record straight. I'm taking Indiana in that game. I'm taking Indiana. How long can I stall until Seven's internet? Is he got dial-up over there, Cole?
It's crazy.
I was filling some time. What I was telling the people, though, Seven, can you hear me? Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee. Can you hear me?
Ruff, ruff.
All right. Here's what I was saying, though. You said I like Michigan State. For the record.
No. Oh,
okay.
I said you did. Yeah.
No. I don't. I like the game. But I want to see Indiana go win by 3 touchdowns on the road in the Big Ten. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I like that bet, though. 7.5, right? 7.5?
Yeah, 7.5. K-State -13.5 against Houston. I think that's just a no-brainer.
Okay.
And then I have a few written down here. I'm going to go Oregon -14.5 against Michigan. I know it's at Michigan, but I think talent is going to take.
What's the line there?
14.5.
Okay.
I have 3 favorites.
That always works out.
We'll see. But no, a lot of fun games. A couple other I like. I think Arizona, or I think UCF -6.5 against Arizona is one everyone should have on their board. Nebraska 6.5, -6.5 against UCLA. I still think UCLA is bad. So those are the other 2 I had written down.
And Nebraska's at home. I think they play much better at home.
Yeah. But
thinking
back on last week, Scots of the Week. Who are your Scots of the Week, Niner?
Well, Cole, let's pull up our graphic because I'll walk you through what my Scots of the Week are. First time I'm seeing yours. I'm glad our Larry Scott team of the week is the same. Arizona's completely dead. We ranted for about half an hour about them, so I'm not going to go through that. They're dead, absolutely dead. It's basketball season in Tucson. Team as fun as Indiana. I struggle with that because I thought they could almost go into elite. But man, I have a man crush. I think we have a collective man crush on Signetti. I think our honorary teams, 7 on this podcast, are Indiana, UNLV, and then the Colorado Buffs. Hometown, I live here now. And Cole, obviously, supporting him. So love Indiana. They're a lot of fun. And then my team is elite is BYU. Disrespect after disrespect after disrespect for the Big 12. BYU is undefeated. They barely are cracking the top 10. Get them in the playoff as an at-large or as the Big 12 champ. They're going to compete with somebody. I'm not going to say they're going to win it. They're not. They'll probably lose to like an Alabama or something. But they're tough. They're going to hang tough. I like that team. Their quarterback is fun. They have some really good wide receivers too. Some really good wideouts. So I'm a big fan of BYU. So those are my Scots of the week, 7. What about you?
Zona's easy. Move on from that one. Team is fun. Colorado. I will use this opportunity to just gently remind everyone who I had chosen as the Big 12 Coach of the Year. That is very much was and still is, in my opinion, Deion Sanders. I think that they've figured something out with the defense that allows them to get some stops, and they might have number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft on their team, which is insane. But those 2 guys, are pretty elite. Oregon's a wagon. They're different this year than most Oregon teams. I feel like I've said that in the past, but their O-line is so good, dude. I think I could throw for 200 yards. And
their D-line.
And their D-line, I mean, they get it. They understand the trenches. Phil Knight, everything points to him just opening up the absolute bag, because I think at 85 or 86, he needs to see another national championship.
Yep.
As an Oregon fan. So, dude, they're talented, man. So that's my Travis team of the week, Travis Scott team of the week.
Yeah. One correction there is you said he needs to see another national championship. Oregon has never won a natty in football.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying, but you're right.
Yeah. And then one more clarifying for me. I know you said Dion Coach of the Year. Was that a preseason pick or was that an in-season pick?
That was week 0 of this podcast.
Hey, snaps. Credit where credit is due.
Thank you.
You said you shouted out Oregon. I would just like to remind everyone that was my national champion pick in week 0.
Yeah. Who was mine?
Ohio State, maybe?
I think
Georgia?
It was Ohio State.
We'll have to go check the tape. Earlier in the podcast, I do want to come back to this. I gave you a look of disgust, and you were like, hey, was that for me? That wasn't for you. What I was doing here, second monitor, I was looking at Tennessee's schedule. So to remind the people, Tennessee was my SEC champion preseason. They're third in the SEC right now. They're one loss. You pointed out they're kind of on the downhill. They play Kentucky this weekend. They then play Mississippi State. Then they play Georgia. Okay, tough game. Then they finish the year with UTEP and Vanderbilt. You're realistically looking at a 10-2 finish Tennessee team because they have one of the easiest schedules remaining. The disgust I had was because of all the SEC hype, all the SEC hype. This last 5 games is easy wins except for Georgia. Why are we giving them so much credit in the SEC all the time when they have bad teams? They have bad teams, and it just bothers me. So I just want to revisit that.
Thank you.
I'll get off my high horse. I apologize.
I love it. No, I love it. That's accountability too, because you did pick them.
Accountability.
All right, let's close this thing out. Any brothers to shout out as we head into the weekend?
Yeah, we'll make it quick, but I do want to quickly shout out 2 brothers out in HBCU gridiron land. There are 2 brothers playing this weekend, Ibrahim and Mohammed Metit. Do not know if I pronounced that correctly. I apologize.
Probably
but
didn't.
they are facing off this weekend. This undefeated Johnson C. Smith University, did not know that was a school. You learn something new every day. Plays against Winston-Salem State this Saturday. Sorry, that was last Saturday they played. So I'm a little bit behind. Don't know the final score, but I just want to shout out some brothers who played against each other in HBCU. That's all I got. All right, everyone.
Nothing but
for
love.
9. This was the CBK podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll chat next week. Love y'all. Peace.